Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5. So The Flash is back in only like around 3 or 4 days from when this video will be going up, which I'm sure everyone is, incredibly excited for. Now that episode that comes out in like 3 or 4 days time is episode 10, otherwise entitled The Flash and the Furious. And we have now had 3 trailers drop for the episode, or centered around that episode, when I say, which is pretty insane. Usually it is just 2, but in this video we will be going over some stuff regarding episode 11, the following episode, which is otherwise entitled Seeing Red. And what we will be going over is a synopsis or description for the episode, as well as some major issues with the episode, which actually have spawned from that latest trailer that we got a few days back for, well, episode 10 and apparently. But of course, before we read the synopsis and go over it, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what piques your interest from the synopsis and what gets you excited, and just leave all of your various thoughts and opinions down there in the comment section down below. And I guess just let me know if you're excited for The Flash, seeing it's back in only a couple of days, or a few days might I say. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're excited for The Flash to be back, be sure to drop a like on the video to show your support and hype level, I guess. During a battle with Cicada, Nora is severely injured. Due to Cicada's dampening powers, Nora's speed healing isn't working, leaving Barry and Iris scared for their daughter's future. Upset about his injured child, the Flash is filled with rage and confronts Cicada in a brutal battle. Meanwhile, Killer Frost keeps interfering with Caitlin's work on the cure. Now, you might be reading that synopsis, or would have just listened to me read it out and be like, wait, hold on, that sounds quite or extremely familiar. Well, if you watch that extended trailer that was released a few days back, then that synopsis should sound familiar or seem familiar, as stuff from this episode, episode 11, was in that trailer, which was labeled as a trailer for episode 10 specifically. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of when shows do this. It doesn't bother me too much, because as I know and you know from reading the synopsis, that we shouldn't expect certain things to appear and happen in episode 10 that extended trailer sort of suggested would. But for just the average audience member for The Flash, someone that watches that trailer on TV during an ad break or sees it on YouTube randomly, but doesn't watch a channel like mine for extra analysis and information, they will be going into episode 10 expecting much more than what they're going to get, and possibly leave the episode disappointed. So I don't know if anyone watching is annoyed by that. I'm not annoyed in it, I'm more just confused as to why they've felt the need to do it. It sort of makes you think that episode 10 might have a lot of spoiler moments maybe, that just wouldn't or couldn't be teased in the trailer, because I'm guessing we're going to see some reverse Flash stuff, so they didn't want to maybe tease too much or show much of it maybe. It is hard to tell at this point. We'll probably have to wait a few more days until the episode actually comes out before we can be, 100% sure on all of that. But yeah, that little tangent is over. Let's jump into the breakdown of this synopsis for episode 11. As I said, the episode is otherwise entitled Seeing Red. Side note, this episode was originally called Spin Out, but there is another thing that has been changed and not true, so yeah. But yeah, anyway, the synopsis starts with, during a battle with Cicada, Nora is severely injured. So the plus with that extended trailer, I guess, showing us a lot of stuff from episode 10 and 11, is that we actually have visual references for some of the stuff in this synopsis. And we did get a glimpse of the incident that this part of the synopsis is referring to, which is this scene in this alley here, which for Legends of Tomorrow viewers, you will remember as the street that like Constantine's house is on. In those flashbacks, I'll point a little arrow to where Constantine's house is from Legends. But we see Cicada in one shot standing in the alley, as well as Barry approaching Nora in a rushed way while she is laying, might I say, unconscious by the looks of it on the ground. But this all leads into the next part of the synopsis, which is where things get a bit more interesting. Due to Cicada's dampening powers, Nora's speed healing isn't working, leaving Barry and Iris scared for their daughter's future. So we know from the trailer that Nora can't move her legs. She says that. So she has like a spinal type of injury. Like I said in my breakdown video for that trailer, it's sort of similar to season 2 when like Zoom wrecked Barry up and stabbed him in the back with his like claw hand, is that what we're calling it? But in the case of Cicada, you would have to think he has just thrown his dagger. He loves throwing that dagger, like we have seen a fair few times this season already. It's like he thinks he's Captain Boomerang. That's what the dagger does. It's almost like a boomerang. Goes around, comes back to him. Hey, Captain Boomerang 2.0. But anyway, it looks like Nora gets hit. Now, Nora might have rescued someone in the process. Maybe Cisco, Ralph, or even her father, Barry. They might have been in the firing line for the dagger, and Nora was the one to stop that. Obviously, it will be interesting to see how long it takes Nora to heal. Barry took, I think, just an episode to heal from that injury from Zoom from memory. But he was just stabbed by Zoom. There was no like meta-powered dampening properties relevant to that situation. Maybe Barry might have to siphon off some of his speed force like he did with Jessie Quick that one time in order to wake her up. Maybe to heal Nora. We'll have to wait and see. Obviously, the big question around this is whether Nora should be affected, because the whole thing about Nora is that she wasn't affected by dark matter, really. She got her powers naturally from her father through birth. So if Killer Frost isn't affected by the dagger, neither should Nora, unless maybe because the dagger stabbed her, it has a greater effect. I don't know. Hopefully they explain that in the episode. Now, another major part from the extended trailer, and also the first trailer we got for what was apparently episode 10 for The Flash this season, was of course the moments in which we see Barry and Iris in the Flash Museum in the future and see a younger version of Nora. Now, it does appear that they are getting to this point in time through Nora's memories, as we did get a shot of Nora lying down with stuff attached to her head. The big question, I guess, is whether that takes place in episode 10 or 11. I personally think that still happens in episode 10, as due to this synopsis coming out, I am seeing a real lack of content for episode 10. So I want to think all of the Flash Museum stuff in the future is in episode 10, which leads to Barry and Iris worrying more for Nora due to them experiencing all that stuff in the future, as well as maybe learning more about Cicada. I would like to think episode 10 is more about setting up stuff for the back half with that future stuff. And then episode 11 is just a straight up Barry takes on Cicada episode, almost like a revenge episode. But speaking of Barry taking on Cicada, that nicely segues into the next part of the synopsis, which is... Upset about his injured child, the Flash is filled with rage and confronts Cicada in a brutal battle. So we have seen parts of the whole Barry vs Cicada fight in that extended trailer. In one of them it does look like he gets absolutely manhandled by Cicada. Pretty sure he got rock bottomed at one point. And that has really been the meme of the season. Barry's just hopeless against Cicada. As he really had a leg up against Cicada, it's usually someone else that gets the advantage over him. Now, I'm sure he will get smacked around in this episode whilst he is, like the title says, seeing red at Cicada. But the episode could end, or at least their conflict for this episode could end, with Barry finding out maybe a weakness of Cicada's. It could be something small that Team Flash works upon, or it could be something really obvious that completely changes the team's approach in regards to how they deal with their main villain of the season so far. Now, one person, or should I say two people, who will be along with Barry in regards to the conflict in this episode with Cicada are that of Caitlin and Killer Frost. And they have their own portion of the synopsis, which goes... Meanwhile, Killer Frost keeps interfering with Caitlin's work on the cure. Now, in episode 10, we know that Caitlin and Cisco will start work on a metahuman cure, and when we were breaking down stuff on that episode, we did bring up the possibility that maybe Killer Frost might not be too, cool or chill with the idea of Caitlin working on a cure. That could pose a threat to her existence. Now, it does seem that Caitlin and Killer Frost are, pretty sweet with each other now, all is good between them. But Killer Frost might still have just an underlying feeling all the time that Caitlin might use the cure on herself just to go back to being 100% normal, which could once again present a power struggle over the two. And as that part in the synopsis does suggest, it could have it that Caitlin could be doing one thing, and then Killer Frost just, takes control randomly, rather than coming about when needed, when, adrenaline rises and stuff like that. It will be an interesting storyline for however long it does go for. But I had to give a prediction in regards to the whole Killer Frost thing. I think it might just be this episode, really episode 11, where Killer Frost is sort of struggling to accept that Caitlin is not working on the cure for herself and is more for other people. We did talk about it in a couple of videos ago about how the cure is most likely to protect people against Cicada, because one of the trailers did say that Cicada was going on just a metahuman, or a killing spree. They didn't say metahuman killing spree, but a killing spree most likely on metahumans. So it's just saving potential victims. If people don't want to be metahumans anymore, come in, take this cure, you're done. And also there's a side story where maybe it could be used to cure her father, which might be one of Caitlin's motivating factors. I don't know if this cure would work on Cicada, because he's not really a meta, he's got meta tech. I don't know, sort of confusing in regards to that. Maybe they can just dip the dagger in some solution or cure serum. I don't know what they would do with that. Anyway. But yeah, as I said, the Flash is only back in a couple of days. Get hyped, get excited. I can't wait for it to be back. This break has gone pretty quickly. Thank you to everyone that showed support. I might do another Flash video, maybe another Arrow video before the Flash comes back. I most likely will. But yeah, thanks for your support over this, mid-season break. It's been greatly appreciated. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on what we went over in this video. What catches your eye the most from the synopsis? What are you looking forward to the most from this episode? Just let me know all of your general opinions down there in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.